Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome from Embassy for joining in for today's lecture on Banaras, its historic and contemporary relevance. And I welcome today's speaker, Mr. Navneet Raman, who is a passionate Indian art and culture conservator. Now, a brief introduction of Mr. Navneet Raman. Mr. Raman comes from a traditional family of India's holiest city, that is Varanasi or Banaras. For more than 100 years, his family has been contributing to the heritage and culture of this historic city. They have been founder trustees of institutions like Banaras Hindu University, Kashi Vidyapeeth, and Central University of Tibetan Studies. Mr. Navneet is also carrying on the legacy of his family and is tirelessly working on preservation of culture and heritage of Varanasi for last 20 years. He is co-founder of Banaras Cultural Foundation, a non-for-profit cultural organization engaged in cultural exchange and education, which also started the Banaras Museum of Contemporary Art, and he is member of the board of directors as its creative director and chairman. He is also founder of Kriti Gallery and Artist Residency, which has been instrumental in exhibiting art from around the world in the oldest city, that is Varanasi. He is passionate about supporting Indian craftsmen through various initiatives to bring our crafts to the highest levels in museums worldwide. He has been the convener of Intech Varanasi chapter from 2006 to 2009. Now I request His Excellency Shri Akhilesh Mishra, Ambassador of India, to give introductory remarks to today's lecture. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. At the outset, my very warm greetings from Dublin, Ireland to Navneet, you and all friends in Banaras and all people in India and also friends in Ireland who are connected with this program. It's a great privilege for me personally to welcome someone like Navneet, whom I have known for quite some time, and I admire your multifaceted efforts to promote Indian culture and different aspects of Indian culture, particularly focus on Varanasi's very rich heritage. We all know that Varanasi is one of the most ancient living cities in the whole world. And also for India, it has been one of the major centers of attraction and centers of reverence for people all over India through millennia, through epic periods. And also, since Prime Minister Modi's coming to power, Varanasi has been truly transformed. It is its place in Indian diplomacy has risen to a new profile. The physical infrastructure of Varanasi has been transformed again very, very remarkably. But the general sense of people-led revival that we see today. In my life, I have not seen that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of like new vigor, new zeal, enthusiasm at the people's level to showcase and preserve and promote our culture, not only the education, but spirituality, the intangible traditions, art and craft, and also with the construction of Rudraksha Convention Center, the ability of Varanasi to host world-class events, the physical infrastructure, the airport improvement, the physical conductivity of highways. I think Varanasi is a new city. It's really a combination of ancient and the most modern. So Varanasi has tremendous potential for connecting with Ireland as well. Because Ireland, as you know, is a small country of 5 million people, but it is one of the most vibrant, fastest growing European Union economy. It is a major hub of technology centers, IT and biotech and medtech, fintech, agriculture. Also on the softer side, it's a very renowned hub for art and culture. 4 Nobel laureates in literature and tremendous vitality in art and painting and music and dance and different kinds of tech-driven creation, entertainment, films, music videos, handicrafts. So I'm very keen to connect Varanasi with Dublin and Ireland. We all know the connection of Amy Besant with Banaras University. And there are a lot of interesting linkages already, but we need to make them more vibrant and more people-driven, more private sector-driven. So I'm very keen to learn, Navneet, about your work and how you see transformation of Banaras. Based on that, we will discuss after your presentation and the next steps and how we can leverage your grassroots connectivity and your own institutions for promoting exchanges between Varanasi and Ireland in art and culture and music and painting. We'll see. I think I should wait for your presentation so that we both and also our audience gets a fuller picture of the potential. Then we'll talk about the next phase.
Firstly, at the very onset, I would like to thank Ambassador Mishra giving me this opportunity to represent Banaras. The real representation of the city, of course, happens with our Prime Minister being elected from Banaras. But as Ambassador Mishra said, the people are also doing their own small. And so I think for me, it's my small gratitude, my small homage to the city I call home. And it's a city that I fell in love with. My family is from there. And for the audience, I would like to give them a glimpse of the city from a historic perspective. And we have a beautiful painting from 1780s. And maybe we can have that on the screen so that people see the city. So this is a beautiful painting from 1780s of what you would call a festival on the river. And you see, as a close-up, you see various international delegates also on the boat. And the royal procession, and there's music on the boat. And this is what would meet your eye more or less when you visit Banaras with its modern adaptation, because the city moves with its time. And this city, just to sort of lay out the foundation, a lot of people call it Kashi, a lot of people call it Banaras, but the official name is Varanasi. So if you were to look at it on a map, the name that will pop up will be Varanasi. And they are all talking about the same geographical space, the same city, just from different aspects. It's a very special city because, as you see in the foreground of this painting, you see the big river, and the river is what makes this city special. It's on the river Ganga, and there is a very interesting aspect that makes Banaras special is in every religion you have to perform certain acts to have access to film. And in Hinduism, the larger, broader culture of India, you just have to spend your time in Banaras and heaven is guaranteed. It's the gateway to heaven. It's Mokshdaini. And the reason for that is the river Ganga. The river Ganga, through its course from west, northwest to southeast, in Banaras, it meanders back towards its source. And that's why it's called Uttar Vahini Ganga, or the north flowing river. And this physiological phenomena, or the geographical phenomena, centuries ago, some seekers, some seers interpreted it as the completion of the cycle of birth and death, because it starts and then it flows back. And they said, so, and then this completion of the cycle means that you are going to be liberated. And so now for close to 4,000, we have history that this people have come here seeking moksha. And a very good way to look at that is that 4 of the Jain Tirthankars were born in Banaras. So that predates Buddha. And then Buddha came to Banaras, gave his first sermon. So it was already a center for learning, a center for inquiry. And then the tradition continues from there till date. And I think what makes it very special is this fact that when you are living in Banaras, you do not have to worry about this world. You have to worry about beyond the physical realm of this world. So it starts off an introspective journey where you are looking inside. In Hindi and Sanskrit, we say antagrihi. So you look inwards, or one of the important aspects of meditation. And then you're thinking beyond just the physical understanding of this world, and you are trying to go beyond that, because this world is taken care of, because you will go to heaven. Soul will go to heaven. So now how can we develop the soul for its next phase of the journey? And I think that this kind of an understanding makes the city very special, because then the people who are residing there, they start to question the status quo. They start to question, like the river turns its course, they start to swim upstream. They start to go against the flow and start to find more meaning than what meets the eye in their life, metaphorically speaking. And that's what makes this city, I think, quite special. You know, this introspective journey, this journey where you start to look inwards. And over the period of time, be it the Jain tradition, be it the Buddhist tradition, and then you come more to the recent times, people like Guru Nanak Ji has spent his time in Banaras. And Banaras is proud to say that we have had great saints of Banaras, you know, like Tulsi Das Ji, who wrote the Manas, or the Ramayan, as we know it, but in popular language. It was in Sanskrit, and he wanted it to reach out to the people. So in a strange way, that's also breaking tradition, you know, taking it from the elite to the common masses, the holy text. Then you have the great saint Kabir Das Ji. Then you have Sant Ravidas Ji. So it's had a whole series of saints in 15th, 16th, 17th century, who have again shown that the city is having this nurturing environment where you can have a dialogue to further your understanding without having a conflict. And I think this is a great gift that Banaras gives to humanity, because we can have people with different opinions. They come together, and all of them with their different opinions come to grow together. So it's not a conflict, it's a confluence of opinions. And that's why if you say past 16th, 17th century, Banaras is known as the Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb, you know, the coming together of the two rivers, Ganga and Jamuna. And there are different schools of thoughts. And if you go back a little bit further, again, they have Shankaracharya, who came with his school of thought, but he had to come to Banaras to establish it, because he had this very nurturing environment where opposites could come together, because everyone was looking to grow. So there was no conflict. And I think that me, as a resident of Banaras, as someone who's living there, as someone who's seeing tradition, modernity come together, His Excellency was just explaining it's a historic city and it's at the forefront of modernity now, all the development. It's not a conflict, it's coming together, it's the confluence. And I think that's really the essence of Banaras. It's the idea of Banaras, and you might be hearing me saying Banaras all the time because the people of Banaras call it Banaras. Actually, there's a text called Kand Puran, and there, the Kashi Khand, there are 108 names, and they say what you go to seek in Banaras or this land of Kashi, address it with that name. So those who are seeking knowledge, address it as Kashi, because Kashi means the city of light. And because we live in Banaras, and Banaras, broadly speaking, is, if I were to translate the word, rasa is the juice of life, the various aspects of life, and bana is ready, so Banaras. So the juice of life, the various aspects of life are ready to be had there, and you have to open yourself. You have to dissolve so the juice can flow through you. So we Banarsis feel, we like this aspect because we have to live there. And so that's why we always use the word Banaras. So that it's sort of broadly speaking of the city, but I have to tell you, he has the great Saint Ramakrishna mentioned that it's easier to map the universe than to write about Banaras. So you can imagine the great seeker making this statement. So, of course, I'm completely inept at giving the larger picture of Banaras, but I think the real essence that we are talking in today's time and age is how we can come together with ideas for mutual growth rather than conflict. I think that is the foundation of Banaras. And this has been done over many years, and this process has happened. And various poets, various scholars, various saints who have had a little glimpse of it, imbibed it, then in their own words, they have shared us. And we are quite fortunate actually that they've even shared the technique with us. I'm reminded of a verse of Kabir, where Kabir says, it in Hindi first and translate, but Kabir says, "Dar mein lakuti haath, jo ghar phooke aapno, wo chale hamare saath." So Kabir says that Kabir is standing in the middle of the market with a stick in his hand, and those who are willing to burn their house can come and walk with me. This house is the house of comfort of thought. It's a metaphorical saying. It's not you have to burn your physical house. He's not propagating any kind of violence or unruly activities. What he's saying is that if you have a certain understanding and you keep holding on to it, you're not going to grow. So you need to grow, you need to be willing to question your understanding. And how can we question if we don't look at it from another perspective of some other seeker, another perspective on how life is happening? And so I think for me, that's a very beautiful connotation to say that we should really be, and that's the key to the introspective journey, and the great Saint Kabir said that. But if that further down the line, where the people, their own words, have said it. And before Kabir, various people have said it, whether it is Buddha, who is talking about questioning, whether it is Shankaracharya, who is talking about questioning. So I think that's really the big gift, apart from the beautiful historic riverfront that you are seeing on your screens and the cultural aspect. The hidden message of the city is that let's move on a personal journey and question and come together rather than have so I would like to maybe take you a little bit further in time to a period 1860, and a great poet, Mirza Ghalib, came to Banaras and spent 3 months there, his way to Bengal to ask for his pensions, and he ended up writing a very beautiful set of couplets, or actually it's a full book he wrote called The Temple Lamp, or Chirag Der. And I would like to screen some of the couplets to just give you some kind of a idea of how this great poet, who was going through a personal turmoil because his pensions were stopped, and when he visited the city, how he responds to the city. Could we have, yes, thank you very much. One of the couplets is, poetry attains its pride of place in heaven when it sings in praise of Kashi. Now, I would just like you to please remember, he's talking about the mind. He's talking about knowledge because he's talking about poetry. So he's using the word Kashi. And you will see how in the next couplet, if we could please move to the next couplet, he changes from Kashi to Banaras. And he says, may God keep Banaras from the evil eye. It is heavenly bliss, paradise established. So he's someone who's going through turmoil, and Banaras does the healing journey because he's looking introvert. You know, he's looking inside. The internal journey has started, and that comes forward in the form of this beautiful couplet that he's written. Could we have the next one, please? Again, this is a very interesting one. We'll have to look at it a little bit metaphorically. The garden becomes the wealth of their hopes of moksha. The dead from here are eternally alive. So the dead, as in symbolizing those who are stagnated with their ideas and thoughts. And those who open up to that introspective journey, they become eternally alive, and the whole aspect of the soul going. It's a beautiful visual play of the physical as well as the metaphysical. And that's the beauty of the poet Ghalib. The next one, please. The city is the land of carefree beauty and spring. All countries speak of it, founded non-peril. So you see, as I was telling you about the rasa, the beauty of life, the juice of life is ready there. He is tasting it, and this is a poet who is trying to describe this beautiful taste in beauty and spring. He's using these beautiful words, and I think there is an opportunity for all of us to try and explore this. Could we have the next one, please? With its image reflected in the Ganga, Banaras is its own peerless second. And from the thing that we had shown, you see there's the big city reflects in it. And it's a nice, interesting metaphor because it's talking about reflection. And the city is permanent, it's a fixed structure, whereas Ganga is flowing. So it's like our thoughts and our ideas that are fixed structures, and we have to reflect upon it, and then it starts to flow. There is movement. So there's a lot of beautiful metaphor in what he's seeing. Could we have the next one, please? Well, this talks about how someone like me can have the courage to come and speak in a forum like this, because it is said that we Banarsis are filled with pride. And so the couplet is, those who are unacquainted with pride, come here, cast an eye on its fairly born ones. And it's the pride is, I think there's a slight difference between pride and arrogance, because pride is about gratitude. It's about a certain privilege. Whereas arrogance is more related with the personal ego thing. Pride is more shared. You know, it's the pride of the nation, pride of the humanity. It's a more shared, it's more open, it's more fluid. And this pride is what gives me the courage by which I'm here to talk about the relevance of Banaras today. You see, it's also, you see the revival of Banaras, I would say, post India's independence is attributed to the last 10 years in Banaras, because the city was quite neglected from its physical infrastructure. It was neglected from all the stimulus that the city needed. And in the last 10 years, with member of parliament being the Prime Minister of India, we've had this great platform where he's brought together various international and national energies to continue this dialogue, which had sort of stalled post India's independence in some way. And so we are again filled with pride. The pride hadn't gone away, but we were less vocal. And now, thanks to the new impulse that we have, the pride has come back. So, and you can see how even one Galib is talking about it. Could we have the next slide, please? As we had heard, the next one, please. Maybe we can go back and yeah, can we come next one, please? No, I think we are skipping it's skipping a slide. The next couplet that Galib talks about is very similar to what Kabir talks about, you know, where he says, Kabira khada bazaar mein, liye lakuti haath, do ghar phuke aap wo chale hamare saath. So he's talking about dismantling your belief systems. And Galib is saying, rise to be extinguished in an instant, like a spark. Rise to be extinguished in an instant, like a spark. Dust your shirt, be free. So, two different times, a good 200, 300 years between them, but the same message, the key to start the introspection journey. And I think Banaras, and we have the keys of Kabir, Galib. If we have the keys from Buddha or the Jain Tirthankars, we will see more than what meets our eye. And then we will all swell up with pride because the city belongs to the world and it belongs to humanity. Could we have the last slide, please? So the last slide is what Ghalib is saying is, I wish that the idol of Banaras would accept Ghalib. I would say, I am your slave, and they would respond proudly, yes. But I have to say, Ghalib might have said it, but every Banarsi feels the same. I wish that the idol of Banaras would accept us as Banarsis, accept us as residents. We would all say, I would say that I am your slave, and we hope that the idol of Banaras says proudly yes and accepts it. So with this, I would like to sort of conclude on this idea and request His Excellency to give us his remarks, give us his thoughts of my small aspect.
Navneet ji, it was a beautiful presentation, and in a short period, you gave the whole perspective, broad-based perspective on Varanasi, the historical, cultural, but also I would really be happy to learn more about your work, your foundation's work, and also being in Varanasi, what potential you see in terms of cultural connect and cultural exchanges with Ireland, any experience that you may have with foreign cultural exchanges already, to please share with us what you are doing, and then that will give us ideas for further collaboration with Ireland.
Sure, sir. So sir, actually, I studied outside of Banaras. I was in a school down south by a philosopher called J. Krishnamurti, called Rishi Valley School. And there is the connection with Ireland, because Krishnamurti was someone who was found by Annie Besant. And we all know very clearly Annie Besant and her Irish roots. And after studying there and then spending some time in Delhi, I went back in '99 to Banaras and started to explore the city. And since then, have been working in various capacities. Under the Urban Renewal Mission, I was working in the technical advisory group of the mayor. We did a couple of expeditions to explore how heritage cities are managed in Europe with UNESCO. And we had a collaboration with the Government of Andalusia as well in 2007. And so that got me started that we need to have a local organization in Banaras where we keep them going, because if the organization is based in Delhi or if the organization is based outside, what happens is the focus goes away because they have to look after the whole country. And so that's how in 2015, together with my colleague Ajay, we started Banaras Cultural Foundation. And it's a not-for-profit foundation. And our basic aim is first to collect as much of data as possible on Banaras. So we have a visual archive where we have got paintings, photographs from 1860s onwards, every few years, of all the fairs, festivals of the riverfront. So we understand how the development has happened. At the same time, lots of PhD theses. It's one of the few cities in India, I can say that around the world, there's maximum number of PhDs done on this city, all its various aspects. And that reminds me again of the quote by Ramakrishna Paramahans that you cannot write about Banaras, and all these PhDs are still happening and we still have open topics. So we are collecting all this material, which is all publicly accessible. The idea being that people of Banaras, people who are visiting Banaras, scholars who are coming have access to this, and it's a shared knowledge. So that's one of our roles on the intellectual level or in the cultural level. But at the same time, we are also doing a lot of tree plantation in Banaras and greening the city, because as you have seen in the quotations of Ghalib, he's talking about a garden. And one of the old names of Banaras is Anandivan, the forest of bliss. So we are trying to create green spaces in Banaras, private and public spaces. At the same time, we are also trying in some way to work towards finding solutions for the mundane life. So we are supporting schools that are working on street children. And also we have a free dispensary for the poor that we are supporting. And hope that at least, because a healthy city has to have a healthy body as well. Physical body has to be healthy, the mind has to be healthy, then we can have a healthy city. So that's sort of the way we are looking at. But more than that, I think we are trying to get the essence of Banaras in ourselves also.
Also, your art gallery.
Yes, sir. We have the art gallery is also a space for contemporary interaction. So we started in 2005. We've been very fortunate that artists from around the world have exhibited there on various aspects of Banaras, and that also helps us in building the archive on Banaras. And through that also we've had a great opportunity, because we've worked with the Victoria Albert Museum in London and done various exhibitions on the textiles of Banaras there, with also smaller galleries in Boston and New York. So it gives us a platform to be able to exhibit and share with the people of Banaras and with the visitors. So yeah.
So if you can explain like the modalities of like cultural exchange and exhibition, and also I understand about that you have a vibrant artist residency program.
Yes, sir. So we have an artist in residence program where actually what's happened is, for years we've been working with the School of Art Institute of Chicago and also with the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And with both these institutions, their master's students come and spend about 15-20 days in Banaras and explore its various aspects. And also at the same time, we take exhibitions to different countries as and when we are given the opportunities. Because there are various programs that happen. A lot of them are driven by the government level or by institutional levels. Very often we've been invited to give talks, like in New York, there's an Open Society Institute in New York, and they've asked us to give talks there on Banaras. So basically trying to spread this message of Banaras, some of it sometimes through visuals, sometimes through exhibitions, and sometimes through music as well. We try and promote the music of Banaras and look for opportunities how we can, because it is such a vast dimension that the city has. So we are always very happy because we have a big enriched stock of things that we can talk about.
Nice. I'm very delighted to learn about your work. In India, I was Director General of ICCR, Indian Council for Cultural Relations. So I'm aware of the government-led exchanges that we are supporting. But from Ireland, I'm very keen to support and facilitate people-driven, preferably private sector-led connectivity and exchange in the field of art and culture. So I would love to make use of your foundation and also your art gallery as a point of reference for connecting with Irish artists.
It'll be a pleasure. So it'll be an honor, not only pleasure, it'll be an honor.
Very, very, very good. I think it has been a great privilege to connect with you and learn about work you are doing. And Banaras always inspires us. I'm myself a Banarsi, although
Sir.
2 years I have not been, so I was looking forward to catching up with someone from Banaras.
When you talk, my biggest hesitance was that I'm speaking to a senior person, a senior Banarsi. So what can I contribute that you would not know? It's I've taken too many privileges, but please excuse if I've gone wrong in.
You did a great job, and also the idea is not for me or Himaji. This program is intended to serve as a platform for spreading awareness about India in Ireland, and also about Ireland in India. The lecture series is India Ireland Friendship Lecture Series, so that we spread friendship, we spread awareness, and facilitate contacts. So I'm very sure that your presentation would have inspired many more Irish people and also people within India who are not familiar, not visited, who had not opportunity of visiting Banaras. They will be inspired to visit Banaras. And also, I'm sincerely looking forward to more genuinely people-driven exchange programs, where bonds of friendship are established and there's a genuine give and take, mutual learning in the field of art and culture.
Yeah.
Irish artists may benefit from your experience and your insights about Banaras art and culture heritage. Similarly,
Would just be very happy to host
yeah.
Of the city on behalf of India. I would like to come
and also like your experience. I'm keen to promote two-way mutual learning, so that the artists, poets, singers, musicians, professionals, they come in contact, they informally share their expertise, their experience, learn from each other, and possibly co-create.
Yes, sir. No, it'd be a pleasure.
It has been a great privilege hosting you and listening to you. We look forward to keeping in touch. My warm greetings to you, your team, and also all the friends in the Banaras.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.